Expecting, honey? I'm so glad that the Basin Brothers does this for you. This is the right way, isn't it? Treat you honorably. Hi. Yeah. What? You're gonna be our mascot. Hi, beautiful red mama. Hello. What do you think? Hello, beautiful. You've got work to do. You've got a beautiful herd.
Shut it. I gotta get over this. I gotta get over this stupid camera thing. Repeat that again.
I said that somewhere out there you got to find your way. Rise up, be the voice you hear, be the words you say that are true. Let the ancient one guide you. There's so many ancient stories written and not that will lead you to the place where you stand in a strength that is past your money, or your prestige. It'll lead you to something that is like that tree in the yard that grows strong and the wind can't take out. Okay? Follow your instincts of your grandparents and your blood lineage. Follow your stuff that rises and surges from your spirit to be. Trust that. Lift up and be all that you were given to be, because you can never be more than you were meant to be. So when you're given that, rush forward. Listen to it. Connect it to the ancient past, the ancient winds and stories that you have. Whether you're Christian, Islamic, atheist, whatever it is, you have a lineage in your blood lineage that believes in something. And that ancient, that's what I was going to say, and that ancient spirit is connected to love of self, love of earth, and love of one's existence here.
Can I add something?
Please.
I think that we've been exercising our mistrust muscle. I think trust is like a muscle. And if you're exercising your mistrust muscle all the time, you're going to see plenty of reasons to find fear and, look for security and like you want to hide under a rock. But what we've got to do is we've got to start exercising our trust muscle. I think. It's just like a muscle. And if you learn to trust, you find out that you really can trust. Most people are trustworthy. Absolutely. You know, most people are doing things because of reasons that they feel compelled to do. A lot of the time they feel compelled to go against the morality of something because, you know, they've got to feed their family, they've got to stay in this job, they've got to, you know, they've got to abide by the rules. But they're really not living their life. They're like human bots. Every day they get up, they get woken up by an alarm, jar, jar, jar. Then, you know, driving in ridiculous traffic, sitting there polluting their own air. You know, this is the funny thing. They're sitting there doing all these things they think they're doing for, you know, a good thing and bringing up a family, and that's what it used to be. But it's not that anymore. Now we're just polluting everything and getting away with it real cheap, and we're actually polluting ourselves and we're breathing it in. It's cannibalistic, and it's just something that we've got to look at and yeah.
Well, can I do an angle? Can you give me some?
The angle.
Yeah, give me some.
Hang on a second.
Just it's still rolling. Just point it. You can look. Okay.
Yep.
So I've been wanting to focus on how we can bring about abundance, and we have the American dream, which is always having abundance. But we're coming to a place where we want to understand that there's abundance and then there's excessive, and where we're looking at how money controls things, and we see how people who are the 99% see how the 1% is harming the planet and harming the people with their need to control the monetary system. And what I want to start looking at is, why do people need to be billionaires? Why are there a few people who need to be billionaires? And when they cross that line into becoming a billionaire, have they crossed a line into becoming really an unbalanced personality, a person with a personality disorder, who is exerting control that shouldn't be? And when we see people who are poverty stricken, and we see people who are stricken with a greed that makes them need to have $1 billion, then we're kind of looking at people who are not well. And I'm wondering if we can make an understanding that if multi-million dollars isn't enough of a ceiling for you, then you've got a problem. You've got a mental problem.
You know what? Why didn't we think of this before? You got to ask.
Yeah. Did you want to say something, Kathleen? Are you holding your breath to say something?
I am holding my breath.
Let me come. I can get the angle from over here. Okay. Go ahead.
I would like to say that I come from a family that has worked hard its whole lifetime, and the inheritance. I see what I'm doing here. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna go in behind this guy. The inheritance of like my mother, and the burden on her life is the property and the estate of which she inherited, which is all the work of all of my relatives put together into one property. And how can you think my mother has a mental disability because of what she's inherited? What she really has is a social responsibility. And that is what's necessary. If you have wealth, you have a social responsibility to your neighbor to increase them to the level that you are.
Yes. Yes, you
and
do.
That is what I've got to say about it to everybody. I'm not asking anybody to give up everything they got. I understand that a lot of people don't understand that just because you got something, means that, you feel rich. You're land rich and you're money poor. That's what I know about most people. What I know is, even in that gift of land rich, you have the ability to let the banking system give you money and loans. You can support your community through your ideas and ventures and that community in turn will support you back and pay those taxes, because land is not ever given to any family. It's been 200 years my family's been on the same piece of property. 180 years, I don't know, long time. Let's see, 1880. And so you figure that everybody's paid for that land, every generation and every blood. You can't. You just keep giving the government money and money and money. And what you do, like I said, my grandfather who made the money supported his community. Mr. Jack Jean, Gean, in Tennessee, he built a house for every person that worked with him. He gave them land. He supported them with food and brought them in the house. There's a lot of responsibility with having any type of wealth anywhere in the world. Use it properly. That's why it was given to you as a gift. That's what I got to say.
Okay, you got something?
I do have something to say. We're on a funny kind of a cycle, because we have the economy sucks, and the people who are running the economy are the ones who benefit the most from the economy. So they're the ones that tell you how the economy is going to go, and they're the ones that crashed it. And they're the ones that have stopped people from having jobs. And then they're the ones again who put most of the hard-working taxpayers' money into the military, so that at least somebody will, because their stupid economy is so bad, then people have to go and get a job in the military, and it's a whole vicious cycle.
There's something about, we can have this as a car take. I mean, it's like therapy. It's like an outtake that's an intake on your mind, and,
Car talk.
Yeah.
Car therapy.
On the road.
It's like pillow talk. It's like pillow talk, only in the car.
Yeah.
It's right now.
Yeah.
This very second is your gift to life. Everything in your life has led you to now. And now is the eternal hello call.
You said you were thrilled?
I feel thrilled every second of the day, every second. I mean, when we look at what's around us, we go to the movies, but we're actually in the movies. The movies are happening all around us, and you're looking for a miracle? Well, look at yourself. You are a miracle. Hi, everyone. This is Denise Ward, and you're with Organic Politics. Today, we're going to explore the experiences of someone who is trying to live in rental apartments in Vermont. And we've got somebody here, one of the occupants. She's going to give us a bit of a rundown on the type of experiences that she's had to go through. Now, we've had to use a false name. This person does not want to reveal their identity. So we're calling this person Versa, and she's right here beside me. Hi, Versa.
Hello. And Vincent, you've been living in what kind of house? What do you want to describe it for the people who don't? I've been living in supposed to be housing. They say it is, but I don't believe it is because of my rent. My rent is $12.14 to live here, and right now I'm paying $1,038 to live a low income. In these apartments itself, if you go online and look up the price, a 4-bedroom is only $950. So they're charging more than that? Way more, and they've been charging me $12.14 for 10 years.
Just so that people know the whole background, you've been living here for how long?
10 years.
Okay. And what's it been like overall? What's your feeling like?
I've been, me and my family has been attacked on this property. We've been treated with severe racism.
By the other neighbors?
Neighbors, when my mom died in 2009, we were up at the hospital to be with my mom because she was in a coma. She passed away right here on this couch. And while we were up there, it was people living in that apartment. My son was on the porch and they called him a monkey. And when I got a letter to be evicted for that, because my son pulled out a bat, and it was grown men. It was grown men, not teenagers. And they was talking about attacking my son. He was like very young. And when I called housing, they asked them, why did they send me an eviction a letter? Oh, we heard this and that. I said, did you know they was over there calling my son monkeys? And they didn't use the eviction because they couldn't. They thought I was going to sue them, so they dropped it. And then my daughter, at 8 years old, when we lived in apartment 11, so people came from the apartments on this side of the building. We lived down there, and hit my 16-year-old boy, hit my son daughter in the side with a big chunk of ice. I thought
She was 16?
She was 8.
She was 8. Where was she situated?
She was in front of the house playing.
She was in front of the house playing, and what happened then, did you say?
I was upstairs, and I heard a real big crash. crash. I was like, what was that? So I didn't pay any attention. Then I heard another one because the first piece of ice hit my door. And the second piece hit her in the side. And then I heard her scream. I ran downstairs, and she had been attacked by a 16-year-old boy that lived here in this complex.
And what happened after that?
I walked down the street like where I come from in New Jersey. Where I come from, they usually, if a child have a problem with another neighbor, we usually go talk to the parents. I went to go talk to the parents, and the mother came outside, and she was pretty much like, I already know it was a snowball fight. And I said, no, it wasn't a snowball fight. I said, for one, I don't allow my 8-year-old daughter to play with 16-year-old boys. And for two, especially the ones that call her niggers. The lady started coming after me, so we wound up tussling in the street. And then 3 guys jumped on my little kids. And me and my 4 little kids had to fight a neighborhood full of people out here. And then the state troopers came, and they didn't do nothing about it because they knew that the people was wrong. They let us walk away and go home. And nobody got charged for that.
But it still must be terrible to be living under that shadow all the time. People are trying to attack you. What's the deal with it, whoever does this? Do you watch television, anybody who does this? I mean, what is the deal with people to do that to other people? Stop it, will you? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Well,
It is utterly ridiculous. How would you like to be attacked just by living in your own neighbourhood? So you have to go through that.
So I came in the house, and I gained over 100 pounds. Because every time I tried to walk or do exercise, I would get letters that me and my kids are drinking or doing something in the park that wasn't true. My kids don't drink to this day. And they don't smoke cigarettes to this day. And it's just, everything is crazy about this place. I mean,
but you've done a lot of things for your children. You've got how many children?
4.
And what age range?
One is
Without giving away too much.
24 to 18.
Okay. And you've brought them up pretty much on your own.
Yep.
Okay.
And 2 of them have full-time jobs.
Yes.
And one has a part-time job. He's interning at an automotive shop, and he goes to CCV. And I have another daughter right here. She just graduated the 8th of this month, and she's going to college in Lindenville, Vermont. And I did that all pretty much by myself with the help of the state, because I was on SSI.
Yeah. It's just amazing that you've done all this, and yet people only concentrate on the bad things that people do. But when people like you have done a lot to raise your children well, where do you see the response in a good way for that? You know, it's always, nobody takes any notice when people do the right thing. But when they do the wrong thing, the minute somebody just makes one wrong move,
Everybody, if one black person does something wrong, every black person is judged for that.
yeah, right.
And we
About your son and how he feels he has to wear a sign.
He feels that, he told me this morning that he feels as though he's tired of have to question, people questioning who he is.
Yeah.
You know, he said from 3-year-olds up to old people judge him every day, and he really don't like it. So that's making him not like this place. At one point, he liked the opportunity that he got here, but in another, he just don't like the racism that he go through every single day.
And this is happening in Vermont.
Every day.
What about, you said something before that was really very uplifting from my point of view about a policeman, and how are the police doing?
When they attacked me and my family back in 2003, we had a big meeting at the community center.
When you say when they attack you, that were your neighbours that
When they jumped on my door with the
that
ice.
incident you were talking about, when your neighbours attacked you that time, yes?
The cops didn't do anything about it. The state troopers came and everything. But we had a meeting, a community meeting here at the community center. And I had
that incident.
with that incident, and my caseworker was there, and a police officer was there, the chief of police was there at the time, and the people that attacked us, and a couple other people, and I have it on tape somewhere.
That's interesting.
And when we came to the table, everybody had to announce who they were. I told them my name, and she told everybody around the table. It was about 10 people. And when they asked who wanted to speak first, explain what was the situation, what was going on the night before. And I told them she could speak first, you know. And when she started speaking, she kept saying, the black people across the more time as the black lady across the road and not by her name, I'm going to arrest you right now. Because you're being pretty much discriminated right in front of me, and I'm not going to allow that. And then they asked me about my story, and I pretty much told them I didn't come to Vermont to fight. I came to Vermont to raise my kids. I lived in Newark for 30-something years and never had to fight people in Newark. And the baddest city was the baddest city in the world.
And Vermont is supposed to be such a
Safe
progressive,
place.
such a, like a progressive state, which is
Less crime, better school system, and that's what I came for.
Yeah.
And I got here. My sister lived here before me, so she didn't tell me about the racism. If she would have, I would have came here.
You can't have, I mean, there's so many rules to living in this particular property and being given the criminal, I want to say criminal because that's what it seems to be, word, Section 8.
I want to say, what
And
are the
yet
things?
I live on Section 8. And Section 8 pays me $122 a month to live on Section 8 and pays part of my utility bill plus my rent.
Okay, so what you're saying that they say that she can't gather on the court. What did they say?
I'm saying there is rules to people who are oppressed in this little situation on this property here that is managed by a corporation I'm not sure of. And I don't want to give that up because I don't want to give up where this person lives. And I just want the truth to be out there about what's happening. And what is really happening is those rules say you can't gather at your doorway. You cannot go and be on the basketball court with your relatives and friends without a viewing of other people coming. You cannot have a grill that's bigger than a little bitty pot to feed your family, although you pay a rent that's supposed to house 4 people.
If you've got a full-time college student, you're supposed to evacuate the premises. Is that not correct?
I can say the paper.
Yeah, go ahead, tell us. So you're not allowed to go to school if you live
Well, I just started a few years ago. We got a paper, a letter we had to sign. We got a letter stating that we have to evacuate the premises if anyone in my household become a full-time student.
What is this, Frankie?
This is a before and after. This is how the well was, a pile of rubble, and it was covered with tin on the top. Mr. Fenton up around, my neighbor will let you know, he used to cover it with tin, and there used to be rats and frogs in it. And because of years ago I taught boxing to a young lad, and now he's the head of his Evergreen Construction, came, and 2 weekends they poured the foundation for this, and Glenn Philgate and his wife donated these beautiful covers. You can hear how heavy they are. I mean, they're just magnificent, as you see. This is the most valuable. It'll haunt me the rest of my life. That it's
Well, maybe you'll stay here.
the most beautiful water that you've ever tasted in your entire life is right in this well. And it's, like I say, wherever I go from now on, any of my travels, I'll always reflect on the taste of this water and in carrying those quarter mile, 365 days a year, you make 3 water runs out of here for the animals. And it's gotten me in shape. If anything, I'm finally physically in shape.
Let's see your arms. Do it.
Oh, the arm? No.
Yeah, do it.
Well, I'm squirrely, very squirrely, very bone and muscle, sinewy.
Yeah.
There's no excess anything. So,
Yeah. So,
and you're forced to it. It's forced labor.
I would say you have a stake in this property.
Oh, I just want to be here. I'm so tired of moving. I moved so many times since my parents died, these 18 years. From Hinsdale to Silver Mountain to Putney, 13 years in Putney. And Randy Zeider and all her crew were wonderful to me. Dr. Bookwalter, I credit all the friends that I've made through my travels. Dr. Bookwalter and his family, an elegant, most cherishable friendship in my life is Dr. Bookwalter. And the list goes on. At the Ridgeview Horse Farm, all the crew there, the village store, Mountain Paul, the Dow, Mr. Dow, the veterinarian, Mr. Dow, all the great people that helped me through the years up there. And the list goes on. Fitzpatrick's, the landscape artists, all these people are my friends, and like I say, the list goes on and on and on.
So maybe all these people want to see your dream and wish come true.
Well, they're busy. They're really busy.
Yes or no? I think they do.
But yes, they.
I think they would pray that you get your wish to stay here with the water, with the animals.
Thank you. Yeah, I believe that. They're a great support system. They really are.
All right.
Couldn't be. I'm the richest man in the entire world because I have so many friends, and I just love it.
Let's go into this compost pile. Well, where did you get it?
Yeah, you have to uncover it.
Why?
It's combustible.
Do you know how much heat that we are throwing away by not putting coils of hot water tubes into these compost heaps? Look at that.
Oh, it's hot inside.
It's hot. This could be where, oh my God, you can't really even touch it so much. We could be getting our heat from these piles done correctly.
In the old days, way back in the caves, I believe in their manure piles, they might have crawled into them to keep warm, because in the freezing nights, in the center of a manure pile, you can put a rod deep in, pull the rod out after 20 minutes, and you can hardly hang on to that rod. So they might have used manure back in the days of the caves from their animals to stay warm.
Uh-huh. And so this is a sort of a new old technology of sort of free energy that, for the lack of a couple of rubber coil hoses, we could have all over Vermont. In fact, they've got to water down these heaps in order to keep them cool. So what are we talking about? We need so much petroleum oil. We've got heat given to us.
Yeah.